Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.
Sorry to interrupt the good conversation and your meal, but please continue with the meal, but refrain from the conversation. I'm Mark Egan, President and CEO of the Albany Colonie Regional Chamber, and we're pleased to have all of you with us for our annual State of the Town of Colonie address, which is sponsored by our Colonie Business Council. I want to thank our corporate sponsors. You see their banners up here. I know you see them not throughout just the town, but really throughout our region, and they're great corporate citizens. Please join with me in recognizing C.B. Richard Ellis and the HMS Agency.
Here, Tom. Thank you.
As you can see, we have a good crowd in the room this morning, and I think everyone looks forward to hearing Town Supervisor Paula Mahan's comments about 2009. Obviously not an easy year, but really a productive year of progress for the town, and she'll share some remarks on that. But I'm sure she will also talk about the opportunities and challenges in 2010. I'd like to recognize the chair of our Chamber's board, who's with us, Ken Desmond. Ken? I'd also like to welcome members from the Colonie Chamber that are with us, including their president, Tom Nolte. Tom? Events, our signature event, the Chamber's 110th annual dinner, is going to be held on Wednesday, March 10th. Invitations will be going out in about a week and a half. We expect, from the response we have already, we already have, believe it or not, folks who contact us, we already have more than 400 seats sold before the invitations have gone out. So we expect another capacity crowd. So if you're interested, when you get your invitation, particularly if you want a table, please respond as soon as you get that invitation. I would like to introduce the chair of the Colonie Business Council to extend some greetings and to introduce our speaker. So please welcome Steve Mather. Steve?
Thanks, Mark, and good morning to everyone. It's great to see you all here today. The Colonie Business Council is pleased to once again host this event. Our council sponsors programs throughout the year on topics of interest to companies doing business in the town. I just want to mention our next program is Tuesday, February 2nd. We'll host an update on the I-87 Exit 6 project. Dan Moore from the Department of Transportation will be on hand to discuss what's happening with this major interchange in Latham, what motorists and business in the vicinity can expect, and how you can get the latest information on the project. To attend the event, you can register at the Chamber's website, acchamber.org, or just call the Chamber office. At this time, I'd like to recognize elected officials in attendance this morning. First, I'd like to recognize Albany County Executive Michael Breslin, former Congressman Michael McNulty, Green Island Village Mayor Ellen McNulty Ryan, in the back. Green Island Town Justice Jeff Dorrance. At this time, we'd also like to remember our departed friend Jack McNulty, the former Green Island Town Supervisor, Green Island Village Mayor, and Albany County Sheriff, who passed away last month at the age of 87. Jack was a frequent attendee of Chamber events and was an amazing man, and he will be truly missed. Now on to today's program. On the heels of her re-election to a second term in November, Colonie Town Supervisor Paula Mahan returns for her third State of the Town address this morning. Colonie continues to work diligently to be a desired town in which to live and conduct business. Today, Paula will address how the town is handling community services, taxes, business retention and attraction, among other issues. She will also answer your questions on the topics that are important to you and your business. I'd also like to mention that a podcast for remarks will be available on the Chamber's website, courtesy of Cotton Hill Studios. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to introduce Colonie Town Supervisor Paula Mahan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks.
I want to thank you for such a warm reception. It's hard to believe that this is my third State of the Town message. The time has gone by so quickly throughout my first term, and I'm so honored to be here with you again this year. I would also like to thank some special people for being here today as well. And I know they've been mentioned, but they're always very supportive and helpful to me. And that is my fellow elected officials who are here with us this morning. Albany County Executive Mike Breslin, former Congressman Mike McNulty, Green Island Village Mayor Ellen McNulty, and also Deputy Mayor Tom Tobin from the village of Colonie. And I know that Jack McNulty is here today with us in spirit. I really appreciate your support in being here. It means a lot to me. Last year was an important year for the town, and I know it was an important year for the Chamber as well in leading many initiatives designed to help all of us realize the opportunities in being part of Tech Valley. And let me just say how lucky we are here in Colonie to have such a great champion in Mark Egan. Thank you for your leadership, Mark. Let me also say how much I appreciate you continuing this forum for the state of the town, and thank you to C.B. Richard Ellis and HMS Agency Incorporated for sponsoring this event. I also want to acknowledge your new chair of the board, J. Kenneth Desmond, Vice President of the Desmond Hotel and Conference Center. I've enjoyed many wonderful events at the Desmond. I would also like to thank the staff here at the Century House for again doing a wonderful job at today's event. During my first term, I had the pleasure of working with the former president of the Chamber, Lynn Taylor, followed by Mark Egan, who we are very fortunate to have in this important position. And a special thank you to HMS Agency's Steve Mather for that kind introduction and for all the work you do on behalf of the Chamber and the town as chair of the Colonie Business Council. When I gave my first State of the Town to you 2 years ago, I promised I would work hand in hand with businesses and residents to foster the kinds of change that could help us resolve the issues the town was facing. I vowed to keep taxes low while at the same time safeguarding the services that make Colonie such a great place to live. I also wanted to hear your ideas about the best ways to improve the town's business climate and stimulate economic development. I am proud to say that since then, I think we've succeeded in bringing many major players to the table for positive and productive conversations that have yielded real results. I believe it's important to collaborate with others to find solutions, and my philosophy has always been identify and work with your strengths, and the weaknesses will improve. It's important to focus on the positives, and speaking of positives, before I go further, let me just say that I stand before you today as the very proud supervisor of the safest town of our size in the nation. Thank you. In 2009, Colonie had the lowest number of serious crimes of any of the 393 largest municipalities in the United States. With only 54 incidents of serious crime, we are literally the #1 safest community in the nation. For that, I want to thank Chief Steve Hyder and every member of the Colonie Police Department. They put their lives on the line for us every day to ensure we have one of the most basic elements of a good life, the ability to feel secure in our homes and community. Of course, building a strong and safe community is more than a matter of good policing. It takes everyone working together to achieve such high standards. I want to say thank you to our entire town workforce, Colonie residents, and business owners for helping us achieve this outstanding award. Having a safe community is also a matter of providing the top quality support services that people need in order to be able to live in dignity and with the sense that others care about them. That's why I've worked hard to fund programs that benefit the entire range of our citizens, including, very importantly, those aimed at seniors and youth. Juvenile crime in Colonie has decreased for each of the past 10 years. That is partly a matter of having excellent schools, and we are fortunate to have some of the region's most outstanding schools in our town. As a former educator, I assure you I will always make it a priority to find ways in which we can work collaboratively with our schools to enhance the good work they do. Today I stand before you very excited at the prospect of continuing the steady progress we've made in our first 2 years. Currently, Colonie is a much stronger town financially and operationally. As I previously stated, we made it a priority to develop a productive dialogue with both businesses and residents, and we have made several business-friendly improvements to the town's planning process. These discussions also helped us develop our strategies for getting the town's finances in order and resulted in new laws responding to resident concerns, notably the town's new noise ordinance law and the sex offender law, which places restrictions on the number of sex offenders living in Colonie motels. Financially, we have significantly reduced the $19.7 million budget deficit we inherited. We accomplished this by generating more revenues and reducing expenditures. We continue to follow and monitor the progress of our 10-year financial management plan. We reduced town expenses by several million by working very hard to cut costs, eliminating wasteful spending, and establishing strict internal controls for cash transactions. We also kept town-wide personnel costs down, partially through attrition and leaving some posts unfilled, and partially by instituting a mandatory employee contribution that reduced employee benefits costs by $1.9 million. The effectiveness of our actions was recognized by Moody's Investor Services last March when they noted favorable operational and budgetary improvements as indications that the town's finances were headed in the right direction. Most important, as in 2008, we again avoided having the town's bond rating downgraded after 3 previous drops, the last occurring in 2007. While we have made great progress in balancing the town's budget, we still have many financial challenges ahead of us. As business owners, you all know these are hard times, and hard times have repercussions for the town as well as for every other municipality. Unfortunately, I don't have a magic wand, and although I sometimes wish I did, this year we must find ways to deal with the fact that some of our key revenues, such as sales tax, are down, and some of our biggest expenses, such as pension contributions, are up. So going forward this year, we will continue to be as disciplined as we were in our first 2 years, so we are able to hold on to the gains we've made. Guiding us will be the disciplined and aggressive financial management plan we developed in 2008. We must continue to follow this plan, and we must continue to cut costs. This year, we are looking to restructure town departments in ways that will allow us to become more efficient and cost-effective, but we must remain committed to protecting our resident services. These services are the key to our great way of life here in Colonie, and safeguarding them is very important to me. As many of you know, we've made some significant changes to the town's planning process as a way to encourage economic development and make the process more user-friendly. A key factor for change has been the use of town-designated engineers to oversee all aspects of major projects, essentially providing a more efficient process for developers at no cost to town residents, which can significantly cut the amount of time and cost it takes to bring a project to completion. In addition, we have implemented a new system for online tracking of both residential and commercial building permits in the building department. The next phase of the project will allow inspectors immediate on-site access to the system from wireless devices. We also made redevelopment and underutilized sites a top priority. Last year, that goal, coupled with our new planning process, helped us attract the Fresh Market to Latham. This is the first Fresh Market in New York State, providing both 90 new jobs and a unique shopping experience that will only be available locally here in our town. Perhaps even more important, the Fresh Market will anchor a complete redevelopment of a notoriously underperforming site, injecting new life into a prime Latham location. We are also thrilled that 2 new international companies have chosen to make Colonie their home. By March, we anticipate completion of the 54,000 square foot Angiodynamics headquarters here, new development that is anticipated to bring with it about 105 jobs in the next 2 years. And by the summer, we expect to welcome Precision Valve Automation to a 115,000 square foot facility at 1 Mustang Drive, ultimately bringing up to 120 jobs. The facility is located in what was formerly a vacant manufacturing property, retooled for PVA's needs. Incidentally, PVA plans to use the facility as a training center, which will also translate into many hotel nights per year. Several more exciting new projects are in the pipeline, and we are very excited about 3 redevelopment projects at 1207, 1225, and 1839 Central Avenue. The largest of these at 1839 Central Avenue will add 5 new storefronts and a pedestrian walkway to the old Dexter shoe location. At 1207, Green's Appliances purchased the vacant building next door for a 7,800 square foot retail addition. And at 1225, there will be a new Pison's Pizza. In addition, we also have a building that has been redeveloped and is operating, the Asian Market on Central Avenue, which is also very popular. I want to thank the town's planning board and our own planning staff, headed by our director, Joe LaCivita, for their hard work in helping us turn our economic development goals into realities. And Joe is here today. Thank you, Joe. As we move into the future, we will intensify our efforts to encourage developers to redevelop abandoned or underperforming sites. We all know that such sites have a negative effect on surrounding properties and a demoralizing effect on the community. We are now actively pursuing redevelopment of the Adirondack Steel and Tobin's First Prize locations, looking toward projects that will demolish the existing, aging, and unsightly structures. We are also actively working to promote redevelopment of the Latham Circle Mall, a conveniently located property which could still be a beacon to area shoppers. I mentioned earlier that one of the ways in which I sought to improve the business climate was through dialogue with businessmen and women here in the town. Last April, we formed the town's first Small Business Advisory Council to provide feedback on the impact of town policies on small businesses. We know that small businesses create 2 out of every 3 new jobs and produce 40% of the gross national product. So providing the right climate for small businesses to grow is essential to our future. The Small Business Advisory Council is chaired by Diane Conroy LaCivita, who also chairs the Cohoes Business Council, and she is also here with us today. Thank you, Diane. Diane tells me there has been a very positive response to the council, and many small businesses have taken the opportunity to advocate for small businesses in our town. Last September, in conjunction with the Colonie IDA, the council surveyed small businesses regarding the town's business climate. More than 50 companies responded, offering their views on how the business climate could be improved. So I feel that the stage has been set for a dialogue that will help improve the process for small businesses here in Colonie. Making progress is always a matter of high expectations, good planning, and follow-through. Last year, we outlined all the town's priority infrastructure projects in a document for requests for federal stimulus funds, which was released in February. One of the 2 top priorities in that plan was making improvements to the town landfill. I'm happy to report that Phase 2 of the landfill's new Area 6 is on track for completing its certification this spring, and we anticipate beginning operations there in late spring or early summer. Completion of Area 6 will give us the capacity for environmentally friendly long-term solid waste disposal for at least the next 10 years, a waste disposal value of around $80 million. This is definitely good news for the town going forward. Two other priority projects, much smaller but still crucial, will be carried out this spring thanks to the support of Congressman Paul Tonko. Congressman Tonko helped us receive more than $660,000 of federal stimulus funds that, when combined with town funds, will translate into an immediate $1 million infusion into Colonie's energy infrastructure. The grant enables us to get started right away on two critical projects outlined in our new energy savings plan: replacing the rooftop heating and cooling units at the town library and the boiler at the town's community center on Central Avenue. And speaking of the library, I just want to say how fortunate we all are to have a library which consistently exceeds itself in the provision of services. I think that we all know that in tough economic times, library services are more critical than ever. Last year alone, circulation was up by 4.8% overall. Since 2000, book circulation increased by an astonishing 210%, giving us the highest book circulation of the region's other major libraries. Video circulation increased by almost equally astonishing 109%. And we were named the region's best children's library in the Times Union's annual poll for the 8th year running. The chance to upgrade the library's physical plant using federal funds for an estimated energy savings of $447,000 over 15 years means that town funds can be freed up to strengthen library services in other ways. This is important because the library has a real need for more computers, more space, and more staff. We all owe a debt of gratitude to Congressman Tonko for making that possible. And a special thank you goes out to our library director, Richard Naylor, and his staff. And by the way, Richard is here today along with one of our staff members, Greg, and they are taping the State of the Town for airing next week on the town's TV channel, which Richard also oversees, and which incidentally in 2009 added 157 new programs for its viewers. And we also have other good news at a time when many municipal golf courses are losing golfers. Ours is gaining them. More than 70,000 rounds of golf were played there last year. That's the highest number of rounds since 1998. We also have we have a lot of other things that are going on as a result of our work with the federal government for stimulus funds. In our package, we had several requests that went across to all departments, and we were able to get some money for the town of Colonie. We work collaboratively also with the airport. The airport authority is paying for the $11 million project, which is our Latham water tank removal project. And at the point where the stimulus funds kicked in, I believe there was a balance of $6.5 million that the stimulus funds will pick up, which will allow the airport staff to use that money for our airport, which is really going to be a big help. So we have a lot going on as well. And Central Avenue from Schenectady to Albany, we will benefit from stimulus funds and redevelopment there. There's going to be a lot of upgrades that will occur, and as we are right in the center, we will benefit from that as well. Ever since I assumed office, I've worked hard to build strong relationships with my fellow elected officials in the region, with the view that we can all benefit by pulling together in mutually supportive ways. Congressman Tonko's advocacy on our behalf for stimulus funds is but one example of how working together is getting positive things done for our town. And in 2009, County Executive Mike Breslin also partnered with the town on several highway projects in which the county has taken the lead, securing stimulus funding for projects such as the Maxwell Road extension and roundabout. In addition, the county and state partnered with us for the new roundabout at the intersection of Route 155 and Old Niskayuna and Old Wolf Roads. And the state was a partner in the major reconfiguration of Northway Exit 6, a major project. We will benefit enormously from these projects, all carried out with minimal investment by the town, and they will greatly improve traffic flow and the safety of our roadways. And finally, last fall, Assembly Bob Riley and Assemblyman Jack McEnany secured $125,000 in state funding to help expand training opportunities at our municipal training center, recognizing the importance of the town's leadership in training emergency personnel throughout the capital region. In addition, District Attorney David Soares later directed another $50,000 to the project. And I would like to thank Peter Latanzio, our Chief of Fire Services, for his leadership of this project. So here again, collaborative efforts are helping build the town's infrastructure by providing alternative funding for the town's priority projects. In addition to improving the landfill, the town's other top infrastructure priority was identified last year as getting caught up on our paving and roadway repairs. As of today, the town is 6 years behind on the standard 15-year repaving cycle adopted by most municipalities. If we continue at this rate, taxpayers will have their streets repaved only every 40 years. We really cannot afford to let our roadways continue to deteriorate. To correct this situation, I'm happy to announce we have proposed and passed a paving plan bonding about $2 million each year for repaving as well as repairs to our stormwater management system. This paving plan will take place over the next 5 years. This aggressive paving plan will help us to achieve our goal of bringing our roads up to standards and strengthening our ability to maintain a good roadway system as we move into the future. Thinking about things with a business perspective, the town's residents and business owners are the equivalent of our shareholders, and we continue to collaborate with community members to discuss the progress of our town's financial plan. We want to continue the dialogue we've already begun and hear the thoughts of our residents and business owners about the best way to continue moving forward. We will also provide the community with more detail about the 5-year paving plan and its necessity as we move into the future. Summing up, with the help of a very dedicated and committed workforce, and several members are here today with me, we have made great progress in realizing our goals for the town, as evidenced by all the good news I was able to bring to you today. But we will continue to face financial challenges in the years ahead. You have my pledge that I will work as hard as ever to handle them in the same responsible way as I did in my first 2 years in office. Business guru Peter F. Drucker famously said that management is doing things right and leadership is doing the right things. As a good manager, I will continue to make decisions that are fiscally prudent. As a good leader, I will strive to make decisions that will at the same time allow for the town's continued growth and expansion. Above all, I will continue to be accountable and to make all our actions transparent to the community that has entrusted us with the responsibility of running the town. These challenges are exciting to me, and I look forward to 2010. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here today. It is an honor to be able to meet with all of you in such a congenial forum. I thank you for your support, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future as we continue our goal of keeping Colonie the best community ever. Thank you. Now, I know once in a while we have a few questions, so certainly if you have any questions, I will try to answer them for you. Any questions? Wow. Okay. I guess we covered everything. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark.
Welcome to Channel 17, the Town of Colonie Government Channel.